she said, I used to work in healthcare, and it kind of rung a bell when we were looking at your slides of the morgue. I was actually,
sorry about that.
my team was one of the ones that was responsible for taking all those stiffs in and out of the morgue, so I had a lot of time spent in there. And I can tell you, it is important to have good refrigeration in those units. It's a little sticky.
Why do they always have this?
But yeah, so like I said, from the world of healthcare, that's where I kind of got my foot in the door when it comes to understanding how to run not only a physical security team, hands-on, maintaining safe work environments, verbal de-escalation, but I also got to learn about all the technology that we used on our campuses. So that's where I kind of got a little bit more of an understanding of what ADT does. Then you couple that with the fact that I had the opportunity to go work at Amazon, where safety is the biggest, I would say, value that that company has, and understanding, again, within the operation, how do these systems, tools, mechanisms that we have actually keep our teams safe. So take all that experience, put into a nice little package, and go into ADT and say, hey, I'd like to be a part of your team and try to help teach people about the services that y'all provide, and try to leverage my experiences as well to help keep people safe. Alright, so when it comes to ADT, a lot of people ask that question like, well, what makes you guys any better? What makes you guys any different? And being very candid, very honest, it's getting more and more competitive in the space. Why is that? We have a lot more DIY people who think, okay, well, I can do it on my own, which you can. You absolutely can. And then you have people, when it comes to the actual camera systems, they think, okay, well, you know, you put a camera here, put a camera there, just plug them in, and they'll be good to go. You absolutely can. Those are all possible venues. But now when it comes to, maybe you have something a little more, you wanna get something a little more specifically tailored to your needs. You wanna do something that's gonna be backed by a larger company who has trucks on the road every day, who has 24/7 tech support, who has a face you can call, talk to, who can actually walk you through, do the analysis on your site, and try to get a solution that's gonna be optimal for not only your home, but also your business. So, our system, what do they do? So really think of the big three when it comes to what we do. And that's gonna be, they like to say, intrusion detection, right? So intrusion detection, what is that? That's when you have those little contacts, motion sensors, that their job is to tell you when a door is open or closed, or somebody's walking into a space during unauthorized hours. So those are the two big toys that I would say that we like to use to make sure that we know what's going on in your house in your absence. Now, a lot of people, they have now changed their mindsets, and I see it amongst small business owners particularly, where they think, we don't really need that, we have cameras. Like, that's great as a reactive measure, when you wanna go and see what happened, when you wanna review the guy with the hood on his head and a mask, and you can't make out his face, he doesn't really care that you recorded him, but it's cool, you got a camera, right? So the goal is we're seeing security systems, they're beginning to turn into like cell phones, and that when we all first got our cell phones, the idea being like, well, these are made to make calls, right? Now your cell phone has become a computer, it has a camera on it, functionality, different apps. Security systems are kind of evolving that way. So when people come up to me and say, I got cameras, I don't need to know like if somebody's opening or closing a door. Well, yes, you do, because these are things that are gonna be proactive and preventing people from making that attempt. And when they do, it's also gonna work in conjunction with your camera system, or in some instances also your card access system. So really the systems themselves are developing and growing to where it's kind of like our cell phones. They're becoming more multi-functionality and all in one. A big thing too that I'm really trying to help people understand is we're no longer, and although we still see these little plastic devices on walls with the little rubber buttons, we're trying to get customers out of that mindset. We're saying you don't need to open the door, hear the bing, 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 run to that panel, your heart skips a beat, make sure you did it right, cops will get called. We're not doing that anymore. The goal really is to have everything controllable by your smartphones. So the idea being is that because our systems can talk amongst one another, well, we want you to be able to have the opportunity to actually control and monitor that from your cell phone. So the goal, like I said during my 30 seconds today, is I want to give that small business owner time at home, time away from the business. And really what these systems are doing is giving you more information about what's happening in your absence. Al was talking about, you want to talk about businesses who are going to be hiring their first employee. And I actually sell a lot of systems to those customers too, because now they want to be able to step away from their operation, but they got to maintain some visibility. How do I know who's open and closing doors and I'm not there? What is my employee doing in the absence of me to be present and make sure they're doing their job, right? 24/7 monitoring is a big thing. So when it comes to the actual, whether it be the security system, your cameras, your life safety, your smoke, carbon, fire alarms. All those things are being monitored. But what's nice about ADT is the built-in redundancy. So we have the largest monitoring network in the country. Our network consists of 7 different sites spread throughout the country. So if there's any downtime, anything that would prevent one of those stations from monitoring, that load is then kicked off to one of the other sites. So there's always somebody that's gonna be doing that job within the ADT network. We don't kick it out, we don't have any third party when it comes to that. All in-house stuff that we own and manage. So like I said, we were already talking about the intrusion, we were talking about the cameras. I wanna use a little bit of my time here to actually talk a little more about cameras. Let me go back to the little camera picture. So cameras, I wanna talk a little more about cameras because I think one of the biggest gaps in knowledge that I see is people understanding, well, what's the difference between a little Ring camera on my door versus a hardwired system that's doing 24/7 recording. And I think the biggest miss and the thing that's the biggest opportunity for people who perceive that their Wi-Fi camera system is doing its job is the fact that, sure, for residentials, I get it, it makes sense. In my mind, if you had a residential, the activity's not that much. You may have a person come up to your house once or twice a day. You can rely on those clips to tell a story, but when the event actually happens, and this is what I think more small business, you need to have a 24/7 recording of everything that occurred during that span of time, right? So when it comes to Wi-Fi cameras, what you're actually getting is just a bunch of little clips with latency and lag, and it's not telling you the full picture, the full story. Whereas 24/7 recording, that's when we can actually provide that service. But now what's happening is because cameras become smarter, that 24/7 recording now also leverages that system of clips. And cameras, that's why we partnered with Google. Now our cameras can detect, that's a car, that's a person, that's an animal. And then you tell it, hey, see this little section of my view? Anything happens in that little block, you need to tell me. Write little notes, make a timeline of what's happening. So really the goal is not to have little Wi-Fi clips, just here's the activity. You want that full 24/7 understanding of what's going on in your business. And then those cameras themselves that now are intertwined with your security system, telling you, hey, doors opened at this time, I saw a person at this time, and then we had an alarm go off here. You can actually tell a story and understand what's happening in your absence, and in case there was an event such as that, but also in the off hours within your business. You kinda gotta know people are opening that door, they're gonna keep it shut, locked, certain hours, making sure that there's no unauthorized access. So to kind of come with a couple of things I want you to think about when you're out there and you see people say, oh, I got cameras, or oh, I want cameras. Well, now you can ask them a little bit more. Well, what type of are you looking for? Are we doing Wi-Fi? Do you want to have a recorder on site? And what that actually means. So I hope that was helpful. Kind of trying to let you guys understand a little bit more about what we do. If there's anything that I want y'all to take away from this, my word is SME. My goal is to be your subject matter expert when it comes to anything pertaining to safety and security. So please, you have my number, reach out, call me, have a conversation. So thank you, I appreciate you.